Welcome. Welcome. Almost. I'll just keep saying it. Welcome. I can't see you, so I don't even know if you're speaking. You can hear me. Welcome.
Turn it on.
That would be helpful. It, of course, worked beautifully in rehearsal. Thanks, Emily.
Of course. We did test it like 10 minutes ago.
I know. That's good. It's all good. There's probably a trick that I don't know.
It just turned itself back off. Okay.
Yes.
Speak loudly.
I'm a PE teacher. I got this. Okay. Well, if I'm going to be a PE teacher, I'm going to do it out here. Welcome to the 2024 Night of Stars. I'm so privileged to be your host this evening. My name is Janelle Hanlos. I am a proud WMC. Yes, WMC. Thank you. WMC graduate. I have an education degree from this wonderful, wonderful institution. So I'm really pleased to be back tonight. In my day job right now, I'm an associate professor in health and human performance here at Montana Western. So if you've been to any of the previous 10 Night of Stars events, you're probably quite disappointed actually to see me here. And I am too, because our amazing librarian emeritus, Michael Schultz, has always emceed this event, and he is absolutely impossible to follow. So if you know Mike, you'll miss Mike tonight. But I'm going to give it my best to live up to him. I'm not going to sing. He always sings. I cannot do that to myself. All right? But I'm going to try a few expressions. I'm going to God bless America. We're going to get it done tonight. So really excited to be here, and I appreciate the tech folks running for that microphone. Just like any award shows, I enjoyed the red carpet this evening. I think your looks are all on point. I hope that your pocket squares are handkerchiefs, because I got to preview the videos, and you might need a few tissues, so I just want you to be prepared for that. There's just so much joy and so much wonderful accomplishment that we get to celebrate tonight. This really is, Mike always said, his favorite night of the year, and it's one of mine too, because it is so special and an opportunity to celebrate something that we all have in common, and some place and some people and some things that we really love. So really pleased to be here tonight. And I wanted to recognize a few folks before we got started. So when I say your group, if you're part of this group, I want you to stand up so we can recognize you. First, everyone who's on the Night of Stars committee, they're hiding in the back. Stand up. I thank each of you for your time and energy and all of the lunches that you got to eat while you were planning this. They invited me to one. It was delicious. And they get the great pleasure of going through the nominations every year, and I know it's a very special thing to do, and they work very hard to put this evening on, and we really appreciate that. Everyone in the room who is a current or a former Montana Western, whether it's WMC, UMW, I'm going to be very impressed if there's any Montana State Normal School faculty, staff, or administration in the room. But if you're a faculty, staff, or administrator from Montana Western, please stand. I personally, and we corporately, thank you for all of your continued work, support, your care that's gone into Montana's first and best teacher preparation program. We could not do this without each and every one of you. Are there any previous Night of Stars or outstanding teacher candidate folks in the audience? Yes. Thank you for returning tonight to welcome a new group into your very exclusive club, and we appreciate you returning. Are there any current or former K-12 educators or administrators in the room? It's most of you. Thank you all for your dedication to the field of education and for continuing to hire our graduates, administrators. We really appreciate that. And then finally, the friends and families who've traveled here tonight to accompany our recipients. If you're a friend or family of our recipient, please stand up. Thank you. We know that the success of these individuals just isn't possible without your love, your support, and quite frequently your patience as well. So we're so glad you could be here tonight. Since we don't have Mr. Schultz here to get the feelings flowing, I wanted to misquote him from last year because a couple of things he said just were so perfect, but I can't say them the way he did, so I'm gonna paraphrase and summarize and give him some credit. If you're one of my students, you know how I feel about that. Night of Stars is not only an acknowledgement of the outstanding individual accomplishments of these recipients tonight, but a much needed antidote for weariness and frustration. And for us here, we're in the 8th block of our semester, of our year. There's some weariness out there, and I know in the K-12 setting it's the same. Spring comes and it's wonderful, but it's also exhausting. And so we're so pleased to have this night to come together to celebrate and kind of raise our spirits. It's a celebration of our past successes as the Montana Western education family, and a recognition that the future is bright. And you'll see that as we launch our crop of outstanding teacher candidates out into our schools this year. I'm so thankful to be a part of this family and part of tonight's celebration. I'd like to invite Chancellor Michael Reed to the stage to welcome you on behalf of the university and to help us get this party started.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Janelle. I think she's doing an outstanding job, and I feel for Mike because there's some competition. Hopefully he won't regret going to Greece, but Janelle's doing fantastic. I'm so delighted to be here this evening to be able to join with all of you as we have the opportunity to honor and recognize some outstanding individuals, people that have done a tremendous amount in their careers, set wonderful examples for us, and then also for those that are just starting, those that have excelled in their education experience and their opportunities. So it's just a delight to be here. And as I was thinking about the Night of Stars, I couldn't help but look back on my own life. And I remember a point in my time when I just received a telescope. I was fairly young, I was married, had a couple children, but I'd received a telescope, something I'd wanted for a long time, and I remember going out and trying to use it, wanted to show my kids the moon in the telescope, and the moon kept drifting out of its field of view. And I struggled so hard to figure out how to get a planet or the moon to stay in the field of view of this telescope. And as I started to learn, I realized that I needed to find the guide star, Polaris. And I needed to align this telescope to that guide star so that everything would stay in the field of view, regardless of how I pointed the telescope. And once I had the guide star, I could use a coordinate system to be able to find distant galaxies or nebulas that I couldn't see with the naked eye. And so it was just so critical to find that guide star. And that guide star, Polaris, is not the brightest star in the sky. It was actually kind of hard to find if you didn't know what to do to find it. You look out to the north and you see a bunch of stars. And some of them are really bright, but Polaris is just a star. It's just like all the other stars in the sky. But if you know that you follow the Big Dipper and you look at the last 2 stars on the cup of that and they draw a line down to Polaris, and then when you know where Polaris is, you can find the Little Dipper. And ever since I've been able to find Polaris, I can look up in the skies, and once I see Polaris, I know where the other constellations are. I can find where I'm at. And like travelers for centuries, they've been using Polaris as a guide star. Whether they're traveling on the sea or the earth, they have that guide star and they're able to use that. And when they have that, they know where to go and they know how to get there. And like the individuals we're honoring tonight, the things they've done in their career, the examples they've set, they truly are guide stars for the future educators that are graduating from Montana Western. I'm so grateful for them and the examples they've done for us, set for us. And they truly are worthy of our honor tonight and our recognition. So I just want to thank them and thank all of the future educators and encourage you to follow the examples of those that we're recognizing tonight and that we've recognized over the last 10 of these events. They truly are worthy of our recognition, and I appreciate them and thank them for setting an example for all of us. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Chancellor Reed. Well, it's time. We're going to start tonight by looking ahead to the future, and so I would invite all of our outstanding teacher candidates award recipients tonight to join me up here on the stage. Thank you. So these candidates were nominated by their faculty members, and if you were lucky enough to catch the slideshow out in the foyer, you got to see a lot of those faculty members, and a lot of them are here with us tonight. So I know this is a very proud moment as they look up here at their students and help to celebrate their accomplishments. So our first outstanding teacher candidate is Alexis Cannon. Alexis, go ahead. Alexis is from Lincoln, Montana, and she's majoring in modern history and secondary education. Kailynn Field. Kailynn is from Butte, Montana, and she's absolutely, and she's majoring in elementary education. Jordan Sweeney. Is from Oakley, California, and she is majoring in physical education and health K-12. Pralie Duffin. Pralie is from Manhattan, Montana, is majoring in mathematics and secondary education. Riley Henderson. Riley is from Gold Creek, Montana, and majors in elementary education. One recipient wasn't able to be here tonight, and that's John Gamble. He's from Carlin, Nevada, is majoring in physical education and health, and has a modern history minor. Ruby Stenberg. Ruby is from Manhattan, Montana, and is majoring in elementary education. Leona Colvin. Leona is from Culbertson, Montana, and she's a member of our post-baccalaureate teaching certificate students, and so she is earning her endorsement and is nearly there. Loran Murphy. Loran is from Ballantyne, Montana, is majoring in elementary education and completing minors in psychology and special education. Bailey Schuchard. Bailey is from Harlowtown, Montana, and majors in pre-K to 3 education, early childhood. Garret Yeager. Garret is from Shodo, Montana, and majored in elementary education. Thanks to the generosity of Stockman Bank, quite a few years ago at the Night of Stars event, we were able to start supporting students as they complete their education and prepare to launch their own classroom. Stockman Bank presents the Stock Your Classroom Award, and this year's recipient is Loran Murphy. This year, we're also especially honored a large group, thankfully, of Montana Western Education alumni stepped forward, and they donated additional Stock Your Classroom awards for each of our outstanding teacher candidates so that you can get some supplies to help your students in this coming year. Wow. We're also very thankful to be able to award a few scholarships to some of our students who will be returning for next year. This year we have 2 Take Stock in Education Scholarship recipients, and they are Ryan Cutney and Josiah Hill. And John Mears has been named the recipient of the Night of Stars Scholarship by the Education Department. Thank you, Dr. Howard, for passing those out, and congratulations to each of you, and best of luck as you start your teaching careers. All right, the awards continue. In 1902, Montana State Normal School, which is located slightly behind you and to your left, welcomed Dr. William C. Bagley as Professor of Psychology and Pedagogy and Director of the Teacher Practice School, the preeminent lab school in the West. Dr. Bagley pioneered experiential teacher education and worked tirelessly to champion the science of teaching and learning, laying the groundwork for our success, which continues more than a century later. He was an author, he was a speaker, and he was an amazing guide to what our teacher education program was able to become. Just over a century later, Dr. Laura Straus took a position in this very same building with the same goal, enhancing teacher preparation. On the eve of her retirement, we celebrate her impact and accomplishments by awarding her the inaugural William C. Bagley Education Faculty Award. Born into a lineage of educators, teaching was inherent in Straus's upbringing. Influenced by her parents, her mother, who personified the nobility of the profession of teaching, and her father, a World War II veteran and metallurgist with a passion for imaginative storytelling, Straus's childhood was a nurturing environment for her thirst for knowledge. Despite initially pursuing science at the University of Chicago with aspirations of a medical career, she found her true calling in teaching after completing an accelerated certification program in elementary education at the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis. Her journey as an educator took her through various roles, including teaching middle school, where she made a profound impact on her students, who challenged her daily to adapt her teaching methods and taught her invaluable lessons in persistence, creativity, empathy, and humor. She joined the faculty at University of Montana Western in 2007, drawn by its unique block scheduling and the opportunity for intense engagement with students. In 2011, Dr. Straus completed her PhD in literacy education from Claremont Graduate University. For nearly 2 decades, Dr. Straus has been a pillar of the education division, serving in various leadership roles while remaining dedicated to her passion for literacy education. Embracing the ethos of Horace Mann, she views education as the cornerstone of democracy and sees teaching as a societal calling. As she prepares for her next chapter, Dr. Straus hopes to be remembered as a passionate and caring educator who left a positive impact on her students and the world. In her final class at Montana Western, Dr. Straus reflects on Ralph Waldo Emerson's words, "Nothing great is ever accomplished without enthusiasm." With this spirit, she leaves a legacy of enthusiastic dedication to her students and the pursuit of making the world a better place through education. And we'll get to watch a little more about her.
I'm Esty Aiken, and I came to UM Western 13 years ago as an education faculty member, and just recently transitioned into the Dean of Strategic Initiatives. So I think what's so great about Laura is that she is from Montana, and so that's always been at the core of the work that she does, is that she knows our students because she can relate to coming from a small town in Montana and coming to this college and what being here means. She has long roots in Montana. I think some of the coolest things that we've been able to do together, we call it the Seattle course. It was in 2018, and Laura and John X and I were fortunate enough to take a whole cohort of students to Seattle and have them in the public schools for 3 weeks. And just the work that went into that, and it was a novel new idea to take a whole cohort of students for a whole block into schools. She teaches some of the most complex information because she teaches early literacy, so the science of reading and all the things that our students need to get to be great practitioners of reading, which cannot be overstated. She knows that deeper than any other faculty member on this campus, and she's able to communicate that to our students. and they walk away knowing more than they ever thought they could.
My name is Logan Allison, and Laura was my advisor while I attended the university. As a student, I would say the biggest impacts that Laura had was her positivity, her enrichment of knowledge, her willingness to always take that extra step to make sure that we were successful and to make sure that we were comfortable in the classroom, whether that was learning, teaching, and just her willingness to be there outside of education and outside of school and be that leader in life and in the classroom and in education.
Dr. Straus is an extraordinary woman and educator. I couldn't have asked for a better mentor. She is worldly, on top of current events and everything to do in the world of education. She does not shy away from work, and her standards are set high. She's also not afraid to correct students' errors, yet when she does so, she does it with compassion and constructive feedback, usually with an explanation to go along with it too. To simply state, Dr. Straus impacted my education is an understatement. Her innovative teaching practices and leadership formed me into the quality educator I am today. In addition, I was fortunate to have Dr. Straus as my advisor. And the best tool she put in my teacher pocket was her recommendation to me to obtain a literacy education minor. The rigorous coursework that she designed into the literacy program, as that was woven with experiential learning, has been invaluable for supporting my diverse group of learners.
My name is Neil Straus. I have been married to Laura Straus since 1977. Laura is a teacher who teaches at 125%. She never wavers. She always puts students first ahead of her personal life. When she is teaching, she works 12 to 16 hours a day on teaching and related things. She's just totally dedicated to helping others teach and learn to teach and to succeed.
I think her innovation, what I so respect and view her as a mentor in her innovation, is that she knows her content. She knows her content inside and out, and she's continuing to learn. And I think that's really exciting that you can have such a strong practitioner that has done all their homework, in essence. They model that, Laura models that for our students, that she's a continuing scholar, so her innovation comes out of how the field is developing, and she continues to go to conferences, and she continues to read in her content area, and she continues to be plugged in with colleagues across the state, and that innovation then is authentic when she comes back to our students and says, we expect you to be scholars.
I would like to say thank you to Laura for all that she's done, for helping me become the educator that I am today, and just for kind of sticking her neck out for me and making sure that I felt comfortable at Western and that I was always led in the direction of success and felt like I was a member of the community as well as the university.
Congratulations, Laura. The recognition of the many educators you have prepared for the field, your fidelity to UM Western, and the experience one design is well deserved. Thank you for your dedication to the education world.
Yeah, so I'm really excited that she gets to retire. She has worked hard and she has worked well. And I think I am just so fortunate to know Laura. Congratulations to my sweet, sweet friend and colleague and mentor. And we are so blessed to have had Laura here.
Thank you. Laura, would you join me on the stage, please?
It's hard to talk after something like that. I was going to joke a little bit and say that one of the things that I remember reading, because I love to read, when I was a little girl, is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and that was like over 50 years ago. 60 years ago. And there's a scene, if you've read the book, where Tom and Huckleberry Finn, his friend, come back from, they've had a lot of adventures, and the people think they're dead. So Tom and Huck decide to sneak upstairs at the church and kind of watch their own funeral. And watching something like that feels a little bit like, you know, getting to actually hear all the wonderful things that people are going to say. And you get to hear it when you're still alive. I just couldn't be more grateful for that. It's just extraordinary. I do not know how to make sense of this, and about the only thing I could do is kind of turn to one of my favorite poets, because I just don't have words. So in the words of Mary Oliver, the poem is poem 133. It's The Summer Day. I won't read the whole poem to you. But at the very end, she says this famous thing. She says, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" And you saw, that's what I planned to do, was to teach. And I can't thank you all enough for giving me an opportunity to hear such gracious and generous words from all of you as I'm closing out this chapter. It's all I ever wanted to do, was to teach. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Straus, for your contributions to our education program, to our teacher candidates, past and present, and to their future students. I've been very honored to work beside you during your years of service here at Montana Western, and I know you have made me a better educator, just like you have the rest of us who've been in your world. And now it's our exciting opportunity to move on to our Hall of Fame inductees this evening. Mark Clark from Carson City, Nevada, is a 1992 graduate of Western Montana College, garnering magna cum laude honors with a BS in secondary education, major in history, and a minor in reading K through 12. During his time at WMC, Mark's commitment to education was evident, so he became a member of the Kappa Pi, I should have checked that. Kappa Pi? Dang it, sorry. National Education Honorary Fraternity, and served as president of the Associated Students of WMC. Mark's journey post-graduation took various turns, offering him a range of experiences that shaped his professional path. It didn't take Mark long to discover his true calling as a correctional officer at the Federal Detention Center in Miami, Florida. This experience honed his classroom management skills and set the stage for a fulfilling career. Years later, in Forest City, Arkansas, Mark found his niche as a GED, English as a second language, literacy coordinator, self-defense, and diversity instructor, and assistant supervisor of education, making an impact in the field of correctional education. Mark's exceptional contributions at the Federal Corrections Complex in Tucson speaks volumes, earning him the title of Supervisor of the Quarter 3 times. His dedication and impact were further recognized with the prestigious Federal Bureau of Prisons Golden Apple Award for the Western region and the FCC Forest City Employee of the Month. His passion for creating opportunities led to valuable partnerships, such as collaborating with the University of Arizona's Extension Office and the Alternative to Violence Project. Volunteering for the Boy Scouts of America as a Webelos Den leader and being appointed the committee chair for Boy Scout Troop 770 has allowed Mark to connect with school-age children as well. He also volunteers for the Vail, Arizona Food Bank and currently works for the Arizona State Museum as a part-time security guard. One of Mark's cherished memories from WMC was having his dad escort him at graduation and living in a log cabin 5 miles from campus.
My name is Sandy Yeager, and I've had the privilege of working with Mark Clark for over 8 years in the correctional education field. He was my supervisor, my mentor, and still to this day a very good friend. I really respect Mark because he's always performed his duties as a supervisor and educator with the highest level of integrity. He continuously demonstrated fairness and consistency, by following and implementing policies and procedures, all while inspiring staff and students to strive to reach their full potential, both professionally and personally. Another thing I appreciated about Mark was his willingness to teach, whether conducting a formal class on diversity for all staff, teaching DB courses to adults in custody, or even cross-training his employees. He always did it with enthusiasm. Mark has positively influenced the lives of so many adults in custody. He has been an inspiration to me and so many others through his correctional education career, and is most deserving of this acknowledgement for his contributions as an educator.
My name is Damon McLaughlin, and it's my pleasure to say a few words about Mark Clark. First, I want to say how proud I am of him and how deserving I believe he is of his Hall of Fame honor, especially given his somewhat non-traditional route as an educator. So for about 11 years, Mark was my boss at the Federal Correctional Complex in Tucson, Arizona, the federal prison, where I was a teacher, and he was the assistant supervisor of education. We worked together in the penitentiary, which comes with its share of unique environmental and educational situations that you don't normally encounter in a typical school environment. Among the many things that made Mark a great teacher, a great leader, and a mentor was his willingness to lead by example. Penitentiary, like I said, comes with its fair share of unpleasantries, and even though Mark could have delegated these to his staff, he was never not willing to lead by putting his own best foot forward. With Mark, our department won the Bureau of Prisons Golden Apple Award. We achieved Superior on several program reviews, which was a personal goal of his, and that's the highest level of achievement you can reach. We had a lot of successes, from developing great programs like culinary arts to simply running a smooth, safe prison department. Very grateful to have worked with Mark. He's a humble dude, he cares deeply about those around him, and I think he is a great teacher in every sense of the word. He makes a difference, he inspires the best out of those around him, and I will definitely continue to carry forward some of the lessons that I've learned from him, not only as a staff member, but as his friend. Thanks, Mark.
Please welcome Mark Clark to the Education Hall of Fame.
No, I think I'm good. Okay, of course. Whoops. Whoa! That was a good joke. All right. Everyone likes saying Mark Clark. Have you ever noticed that? All right, I know I have it. Shoot. Oh, yeah. Just a little note, when I lived in a log cabin on Cattle Drive, I hitchhiked to school every day. Sometimes I walked, sometimes I got a ride. But anyhow, I'm very humbled and very honored for this award. It's a nice way to complete my education journey. It started in Dillon, and it's going to end in Dillon, so thank you. So, I've said this quite a few times on a prison yard, and it's pretty loud. I just say, hello! 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 Oh, good, everyone's safe, that's good. When my two sons, Alex and John, were little, I read them the book series, Lessons from the 100-Acre Wood. Winnie the Pooh would say, a lesson a day, Pooh's way. But I'm a Western alumnus, so for me, it is a lesson a day, Western's way. Here are my 3 lessons learned. Lesson 1. During my time at Western, Mr. Clarence Kostelecki and Ole Alice were managers of the Learning Center, and they demonstrated the importance of making an accommodation for students. They let my classmates and I use the computers in the Learning Center after hours. Clarence said, just turn off the lights and close the doors when you're finished. My peers and I were able to turn in our assignments on time. During my tenure as a supervisor of education, I was asked by one of the electrical apprenticeship students if they could use an empty classroom to study. My literacy coordinator, Ms. Emily Pullen, scheduled a classroom for them to use. In fact, during lunchtime, one of the students approached the warden. They complimented Ms. Pullen on her efforts to find an open classroom in the National Electrical Code Book. It was a big deal for an inmate to approach the warden by himself. And I was standing next to the warden, and I thought, here we go. He's going to complain about Clark, here we go. Might as well just listen to it and don't say a word. But he complimented my staff for the hard work that they did. And that was a lesson learned. I learned that at Western, to make an accommodation for other people. Lesson 2. Dr. Sandra Oldendorf showed me how to adapt to change. While I was in Dr. Oldendorf's education management class, the Gulf War began in the spring of 1991. She said sometimes outside events will alter your lessons. She handed out construction paper and said, write or draw what the war meant to you. Some years later, I would flash back to her lecture. The FCI's annual graduation was scheduled for Thursday at 9 a.m. in the chapel. Miss Sandy Hager, who you just met, knocked on my door at 8:10 and said, Mr. Clark, we cannot find the Pomp and Circumstance CD. But do you have a copy? I said no. Next, I asked if any of the band members knew how to play it. And you guessed it, they said no. I began brainstorming and thought the band could play the Happy Birthday melody, but change the words to Happy Graduation. So it'd go Happy Graduation to you. After a brief reflection, I thought this would be silly because the Vice Consul of the Mexican Consulate and his entourage were guests. At 8:45, I looked at my calendar, and it was Thursday, September 11th. Before the ceremony started, I made the following announcement. The graduates will march in and out on a silent count as a remembrance of the lives lost on September 11th, 2001. The lesson learned was simple. Piglet said in the 100-Acre Wood, he said, make the best of it. Lesson 3. Western's greatest strength is making problem solvers. For instance, teaching me how to answer an essay prompt, create meaningful class projects, and engaging students. While I was a GED instructor, I noticed I had a high tardiness rate, so my solution was to use the public address system. However, I did not announce just their last name, as was customary in a prison setting. I did their full name. So for instance, I said, good morning, Mr. Jordan Matthews Davis Jr. Please report to education. For the Spanish-speaking students, I'd say, buenos dias, senor. Report to education. I called the unit until the student reported to class. If they did not, I would repeat the greeting every 5 minutes. So I'm calling down to their unit while they're sleeping, while other people at 120 or 170 or whatever are sleeping, and I'm calling them to class. And you can imagine a little bit of peer pressure. They found their colleague and sent him to class. After 3 weeks, my attendance improved. I overheard 2 students give the following testimonial. Did Clark ever call your name? Yes, my friends called me Junior for the next 2 weeks. And the other replied, he called me too. On the second time, I made sure I was on the bus. There's no bus in prison, just like there's no bus at Western. Lesson learned, your imagination can solve problems. As a graduation gift, a friend gave me the book, Oh, the Places You Will Go, by Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places I did go. But I did it with help from Rex, Araceli, Tim, Malcolm, Matt Damon. Oh no, not that Matt Damon. But Matt C. and Damon MC, Steve, Emily, and Crystal. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Sandy, who supported me while I was in the waiting place, in a lurch, and celebrating with me when the boom bands were playing. Finally, thank you, Hall of Fame Committee, for this award, and to you all, be safe.
Thank you and congratulations, Mark. Cindy Farmer grew up in Superior, Montana, where she was a standout athlete. It was no surprise when Cindy was recruited by Coach Core to play basketball for the Bulldogs of Western Montana College. Cindy graduated magna cum laude in 1985 with a double major in PE, Health Enhancement K-12, and Business 5 through 12. She soon went on to get a master's in educational technology. While at WMC, Cindy earned academic all-conference honors and was the sports editor for the campus newspaper, The Wescalate. Her teaching career began in Poplar, Montana, where she was the middle school PE teacher. She also coached basketball and track. After 3 years at Poplar, Cindy moved to Belfry, Montana, where she taught business and coached girls and boys basketball, volleyball, and track. She also served as the athletic director for a short time. After 10 years at Belfry High School, Cindy moved to Hardin, where she has been since 1998. Her time at Hardin High School has been nothing short of amazing. She currently teaches high school business classes, including marketing, street law, business math, business cooperative. Cindy also coaches the Hardin Bulldogs in cross country, girls basketball, and track. She serves as the Distributive Education Clubs of America Club Advisor and runs the DECA store. Throughout her time at HHS, Cindy has won several Class A state championship titles in cross country, one in girls basketball, and has coached numerous individual state champions in track. She has been selected as the Montana Coach of the Year 6 times in cross country and 1 time in basketball. She has been a member of the Montana High School Association Rules Committee for the past 6 years and the Montana Coaches Association Class A Director for 4 years. She has also been honored by the National Federation of State High School Associations. Cindy expresses that her time at Western was not only resulted in lifelong friendships, both on the court and in the classroom, but was also enriched by top-notch and fulfilling instruction and guidance from her professors. I'm proud to be part of the Western alumni family, she says.
My name is Mary Korsky, and I am the Family and Consumer Science teacher at Hardin High School. I have been here 23 years, but Cindy Farmer has been here 26 years. We are 2 of the most long-lived teachers here at the high school. We both teach in the vocational department, and that's where I got to know Cindy as a vocational teacher. She's our business teacher, and I do the family and consumer science, and because we are in the same department, I've got to know her fairly well over the several years. She's had an outstanding reputation in the community as an excellent coach, and she's taken team after team to state cross country, and she's taken team after team to state for basketball, and her track kids have all done very well too. Cindy is an outstanding individual, and I think Hardin High School is a much better place because she is here. The impact that Cindy has had on me as a teacher is formidable. I think she has influenced the way I run my classes. She has such a well-organized classroom. She inspires me to try to reach every student. She spends time with her kids, and she does a very, very good job presenting her curriculum. A lot of kids go hang out in her room if they have questions. She welcomes them with open arms.
My name is Sophia Needens, and I'm currently attending Montana State University to pursue a nursing degree. I know Miss Farmer because I had her as my cross country and track coach in high school, and I also had her as a teacher. Miss Farmer always pushed me to be better and helped me realize what I am capable of if I'm willing to put in the work. The impact Miss Farmer has made is tremendous. She has helped build a sports culture in the school and community, but it all starts in the classroom, and she definitely prioritizes that over everything. She's always down to help students with work, even if it's not from her assignments. She'll help you with any work. She'll come in on Sundays and help students, or do one-on-one during her prep period. Farmer will treat everyone the same and give everyone the dignity they deserve, which I think is really important when it comes to learning. Miss Farmer has had a huge impact on me. She showed me what it looks like to be dedicated and what hard work looks like, whether that's during practice or in the classroom. And her character has always been a role model to me of how to act in every everyday life, and she's always showed me how to do things the right way. Congratulations, Farmer, on getting this award. You definitely deserve it.
Thank you. Please help me welcome Susan Farmer.
Wow. I always tell my students and athletes to get out of their comfort zone. Real growth occurs when you push yourself beyond what is comfortable and familiar. So I am really growing today because I am way out of my comfort zone. I am very humbled for this incredible honor and recognition. I still find it hard to believe that I am here being inducted to the Education Hall of Fame for something that I love and never thought of as work, and that is teaching and coaching our youth. I have been blessed with the opportunity to play a small part in their lives and help them reach their academic and athletic goals. That is what drives me every day. Teaching is my passion. I always ask myself, am I better today than I was yesterday? And I have my kids ask themselves the same question. So let me start, if you don't mind, with some thank yous. Thanks to my family, my sister Lynn, who is here today, someone I have always looked up to. To my parents, I hope they're smiling from up above, who always pushed me to be my best. And to my lifelong friends, Laura, over 40 years, Chanel and Margaret, who are here also, who always just were there. They are my lifeblood and they know it, but I still like saying it out loud and in person. Thanks to Western Montana College, to my coach, the late Jim Core, my teammates, the administration, the faculty, especially Donna Wallace and Bonnie Sheriff, for being such great role models and preparing me for a successful career. It is an overwhelming honor to be recognized in this way, but one that plainly should be shared with all those who stood by me over all those years, making every accomplishment possible and the journey a sheer pleasure. I truly believe that if you surround yourself with good people, good things will happen by absorbing some of their wisdom, their strength, and perseverance to meet and match any challenge. Because believe me, there will be many challenges along the way, but more importantly, many rewards. So stay the course. When I think back on the time I spent here at Western, it is always with fond memories and a good feeling, and spending 4 years in this community had a profound impact on me in general. All of that makes it even more special to receive this award. Coach Jim Core was the main reason that I knew I was making the right decision when he recruited me to play basketball here. Little did I know that he had also recruited my rivals in high school, Chanel Cooper, Molly Malone, and Sharon Shaw. But I trusted the process, and they became my best friends and teammates at college. His passion for the game and the love he had for his players is an attribute that I learned and have incorporated into my own coaching and teaching philosophy. Throughout my years of teaching and coaching, I feel that I have received more from my investment into my students than they have received from me. I have heard it said before that there are days in life that are good. It's as if God has just handed us a little piece of heaven. For me, my family, my friends, today is one of those days. Thank you and God bless.
Congratulations, Cindy. A Fairfield, Montana native, Patricia Haynes Gibson attended Western Montana College from 1971 to 1975, earning her Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education and music. Throughout her time at WMC, Patricia actively engaged in various organizations, showcasing her commitment to both academic and extracurricular pursuits. Her involvement included roles such as Spurs Junior Advisor, Student Body Vice President, Student Body Secretary, and Senior Class President. Patricia also was recognized in Who's Who in American colleges and universities. Additionally, her passion for music led her to participate in the Choraleers, a traveling musical group. Patricia was a member of the Blue Ribbon Committee and was homecoming queen. Following her graduation from WMC, Patricia embarked on a dedicated teaching career, leaving an impact in elementary schools across Montana. Her teaching journey included positions in Kevin, I had to look that up by the way, it's a real place, Lewistown, and Belfry, Montana, and Colville, Washington. Notably, she dedicated 27 years to Wenatchee, Washington, where she served as PE teacher for grades K through 5. During her time in Wenatchee, Patricia demonstrated leadership by serving as teacher leader for a school-wide behavior program affiliated with the University of Washington. In addition to her primary teaching role, she contributed as a principal substitute and initiated an after-school running club involving both students and parents during the fall and spring seasons. Patricia actively participated in the Parent-Teacher Association and took on the role of school drama director. She also played a pivotal role as a physical education curriculum developer for the district and was the mastermind behind the design of district-wide field days. Outside of the school setting, Patricia demonstrates a strong sense of community involvement, singing in the Hurricane Community Choir, volunteering for the Senior Games in St. George, Utah, and she actively works to secure school clothes and books for students in need.
My name is Darcy Bergman, and I had the honor of being a teacher with Pat Gibson as a first-year teacher back in the Eastmont School District. I taught kindergarten, and Pat was a PE teacher. She always had a smile on her face, and for the longest time, I thought she was an administrator because she always was helpful and coming down and checking on me as a new teacher. I loved the fact that she enjoyed kids, whether they were the best behaved or those that were a little challenging. She always had kindness, caring, and compassion for each and every one of them. One of the things I think I learned from her that I'll always take wherever I go is just to accept what it is and help each and every person where they are and what they need. So Pat, congratulations. You are amazing as a person, a friend, and definitely as a teacher.
Hi, I'm Gail Phillips, known as Professor B. Pat and I were specialists together at the elementary, and we just had a blast. And Pat, I'm so proud of you for many ways. You rescued me. I thought about the other day when I fell off the stage in the third grade concert and how you took care of me, as usual. But I wrote you a little poem, and I'm so happy for you. It says, for all you give, for all you do, for working hard, for being there day in and out, and that's true because you rescued me quite a bit. Thanks is what today is all about. Yay, Pat Gibson.
Hello, my name is Casey Haywood, and I am a retired school teacher from Eastmont School District. I met Pat Gibson in 2001 at Lee Elementary when I was a brand new teacher. Pat was extremely welcoming and helpful to me in my first year. Pat and I went on to develop a behavior program to help kids be more successful in the classroom. The name of the program was Swiss, but we nicknamed it Swiss Miss, and we had lots of great laughs over it when we were making our notebook for the program. And congratulations, Pat. I am so proud of you, and you deserve this award. And I'm honored to call you my friend.
Hello, my name is Carrie King, and I'm a retired teacher for the Eastmont School District. I first met Pat when I was a long-term sub for her daughter Nikki's first grade class at the elementary school. Shortly after that, Pat was hired as a PE teacher at Lee. We became fast friends. There are many things that I have learned from Pat. She has always been an advocate for kids, offering a safe place for all. She wasn't afraid to have a little fun. One of my favorite memories is when she would dress up in her Dracula cape on Halloween. Everyone loved it. Pat has always been an advocate for her colleagues as well. Anytime she would be the one having hard conversations with the administration, but things got to be a bit too much. Pat has always been a wonderful, loving, supportive friend. My time commuting with her to Central Washington University for summer school will always be a favorite memory. Pat always put her family first, always. She's a great example to me of service and love. I am blessed to call her a dear friend. I love you, Pat, and I'm so thrilled for you. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Thank you. We invite Pat to the stage, please.
You know, I was going to do really good until those sweet people that made that video showed up outside here tonight. And they are staying in a hotel right across the hall from me, and they've been hiding all day so that I wouldn't find, they wouldn't, so they could surprise me. Talk about wonderful, wonderful people that I've been surrounded by. I am so grateful for this incredible award. Teaching has truly been an amazing gift for me. I have loved every minute. From chasing antelope off my playground every morning in my one-room country school in Fergus, Montana, to my last year of teaching 50 students at one time in East Wenatchee. Western Montana College gave me that gift. I loved my 4 years here. Western became my family and also a part of my real family. My grandmother was the first member of our family to come here in 1917, where she played guard on the women's basketball team and got her teaching certificate. Now, some of you know my husband also played guard for Western, and I don't know, Grandma or my husband. Grandma was really feisty, so she might have taken him. My sister Margie was next. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and after that came cousins and nephews. So this really is our family school and a love of teaching. Western not only gave me a teaching degree, but also the opportunity of learning leadership, working with great student leaders in SPURS, student council, and class officers. Being involved in so many student activities helped me feel a part of this campus. I love the staff here. They were always so supportive and caring, and they were always encouraging us to try harder, to do better. Western also gave me some of my greatest gifts, including good friends, still to this day, who are in the audience, that I've been classmates for over, I hate to say this, 50 years with. And I love every one of them, and I so appreciate their sacrifice to come here for this night, to be a part of this for me. And then all my crazy friends from East Wenatchee. Oh, gosh. And of course, the greatest gift that the school gave me was my husband, Dennis, of 48 years. What an inspiration he has been in my life. He also received, he was put into the Teachers Hall of Fame for his outstanding work with children as an administrator. Making students feel successful and good about themselves was one of my major goals. The last 28 years of my career, I was fortunate to teach elementary physical education. You could say I found my niche. To quote one of my students, "You taught us lessons without even trying to teach us, and you made it look effortlessly. because you put the ownership on the individuals you were trying to teach, because it's not about the teacher, it was always about the students. And this came from a student I had in some of my first years in East Wenatchee. And he came angry, and he had to repeat second grade, and he was just struggling. And I taught him about taking his frustrations out on running. And he became a wonderful cross-country runner. He still has some records in the state. And I was so touched by his kind words for me. The best part about it being a specialist was that I got to raise my kids. I would get them from kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And by that time, they left me in 5 years. We had a wonderful relationship. I was able to make connections with them. I cheered for them for all their activities clear through high school. They were my students. They're still my students. Because of my connection, I was able to help with this wonderful discipline program at the from the University of Washington, our Swiss Miss. But it was such a great program because it set students up for success, not failure. It was just such an outstanding program. Also, some of the wonderful or fun things, best part of my job was I would have kids come to me in shoes that were literally falling off their feet. I would bring them into my office where I had a supply of new tennis shoes. And they would get to pick out a new pair of tennis shoes. I put their old ones in a sack, and I would tell them, you take these home in the sack, and if your parents don't want you to have these new shoes, just bring them back in the sack, no problem. I never had one pair of shoes returned. And I can tell you it was probably, what in all those years, thousands of pairs of shoes that we were able to beg, borrow, and steal for, I guess. I had wonderful PTOs who supported me. And then I saw a need when a lot of my students lived in apartment buildings, and there was no really good place to play. So I started after-school running clubs, fall and spring, not only to help some of my students, but a lot of times their parents would come and walk or run with them. Sometimes, some years, I would end up with around 150 kids. So it was crazy fun. It was awesome every day to have my students come in excited to learn. Of course, I was their favorite class and teacher. Anyway, that's what I told the other teachers. And it was, I want to go back to a little bit about making connections with kids. I had a student who, his dad took him everywhere to play in Little League tournaments and things like this, and he was just a wonderful student to teach. He was outstanding. He didn't care what we were doing, he was all in. When he left me in 5th grade, I had him autograph a baseball for me. And several years ago, he was drafted by the Washington Nationals. So I believed in this kid, and I reminded him of it all the time. I still have his autographed baseball. Now, as I look back, I just have so many people to thank for this award. I was able to work with incredible teachers that gave me support and friendship. As I look back at this career that Western gave me, I wouldn't have traded it for the world. I couldn't have done my job without my amazing husband, Dennis. and my wonderful children, Katie, Nikki, and Josh. I've been blessed to be a grandmother of 5 beautiful grandchildren. 2 of them are here with me tonight, Cassidy and Wyatt. And I'm so grateful for my son-in-law, Chris, who is also an outstanding educator and coach. And I pray that if we pass anything on to the next generation, it'll be that love of learning. Education is truly a gift for all of us. For you new teachers, it isn't a 9-to-5 job. It's a commitment to make your students' lives better. You give them the hope of a brighter future. Figure out a way to make them successful in whatever you teach. Give them the gift of learning. Western gave me that gift, to want to learn, to want to do better. I couldn't have asked for a finer education. And I'm so grateful to Roxanne and to Jolene and to Chancellor Reed. I appreciate this opportunity so much in this award. Thank you very much.
Congratulations and thank you, Pat. Jackie Sproul Taylor is a proud WMC alumna hailing from Columbia Falls, Montana. Jackie graduated from Western Montana College in 1998 with a BS in elementary education and an AS in early childhood. Excuse me. Her commitment to academic excellence was evident through achievements such as graduating magna cum laude and consistently making the dean's list. Jackie was also a volleyball player from the Bulldogs in the fall of 1993. Jackie and her husband Willis embarked on a new chapter in December of 1998, moving to Newburgh, New York. There, Jackie worked as a substitute teacher and for Patagonia. Her passion for education led her to Children's Country Day School in Windsor, New York, where she quickly became an integral part of the school community, teaching 4th and 5th grade, while also instructing Spanish for grades 1st through 6th. Jackie's leadership qualities were recognized quickly, and she was promoted to interim head. In the summer of 2001, Jackie and Willis relocated to Portland, Oregon, where Jackie assumed a teaching position at the Gardner School in Vancouver, Washington. Over the span of 18 years, Jackie demonstrated her versatility by teaching students across various grade levels. During her tenure at TGS, Jackie made significant contributions, including presenting at an international conference in Iceland on multiple intelligences and held the role of curriculum director. Outside the classroom, Jackie volunteered as a soccer coach, mentored new teachers, and led several community events. Her impact also extended to designing and implementing thematic-based integrated studies. Jackie reached another milestone in her educational journey by earning a master's degree in teacher leadership in 2015. And in 2019, with the support of several teachers and families, took a significant leap by founding the Lupin Experiential School in Vancouver. Over the past 5 years, Lupin has flourished, growing from 33 students to 78. In addition to teaching in the 4th and 5th grade class, Jackie is also head of the school. Jackie's experiences at WMC have been filled with cherished moments, including her participation in the National Childhood Conference in Toronto, Canada, and meeting her future husband, Willis Taylor.
Hi, my name is Jessie Mohandasi, and I've known Jackie Taylor for 16 years. She's been a friend, a colleague, 7 years as my children's teacher, and now I'm on the board at her school, Movement Experiential School. And one of the most important things to know about Jackie Taylor is that she makes such a huge impact in children's lives with her dedication to experiential learning and hands-on learning, but also because of that, she makes an impact in parents' lives. And she gives parents an opportunity to give an education to their children that maybe they wanted for themselves they didn't have.
I like that this school is not like all other schools. You get to learn through play sometimes. I really like that with an experiential.
I think Jackie is a great teacher because she connects mathematics with art and music. And my favorite thematic project that we did was doing individual projects with space. That was very interesting.
I have known Jackie Taylor since she was my 4th grade teacher in 2002. And in the time that I've known her, she's been my teacher, my mentor, my colleague, and my boss. And all along the time that I've known her, she's been such an incredible role model, leader, and educator. So when we heard about the opportunity to nominate her to the Educator Hall of Fame, I couldn't think of a better teacher to be part of that group. She is such a wonderful example of leading your classroom with curiosity and excitement and really finding the strengths in all the adults and families and children that she works with. So in 2019, when she started Duffin Experiential School, I was so excited to support her in this journey. She has really spearheaded the entire thing with her vision and passion for hands-on education. And so it's been really wonderful to watch her take everything she's learned in her entire career and turn it into her own dream school. So starting the COVID year, and every year she's been able to increase enrollment, add staff, and really create just the most beautiful environment and continue her passion of teaching kids with experiences and hands-on opportunities.
Welcome, Jackie.
All right, you got me with Piper in that video, you guys. You had to get the little one. Good evening, everyone. It's an amazing honor to be here tonight to receive this special acknowledgement, to be recognized in the field of education by a university whose primary focus is cultivating teachers. It's very humbling. I want to thank my husband, Willis, my family and friends who made this trip here, Jesse, Sia, Taylor, and Markey, and also my friends and family who helped nominate me, as well as the Education Department and Alumni Office Selection Committee for choosing me to the Education Hall of Fame. It's an honor in which I feel truly grateful. Congratulations to Percy, Cindy, Mark, and Patricia on your inductions. It's been wonderful to hear your inspiring stories. Growing up in Montana helped me shape my passion for teaching and immersing children in nature. From the many influential teachers in Columbia Falls to the integrated thematic-based teaching model I experienced here at Western, I emerged from that as a teacher with a firm belief in how education should and could be. I also knew I would only be happy in a school that mirrored my beliefs. Julie Maloney was one of my early childhood professors here at Western and was an incredible mentor. Her unwavering belief in my potential fueled my confidence and passion. After graduating in 1998, Julie and I, along with 4 families whose children I taught here at Kid College, the lab school that used to be on campus, we explored the idea of starting our own school. While it didn't pan out here in Dillon, that idea stayed tucked in my mind. I was asked to take the director position at the lab school, which we had then renamed to Curious Minds, and served in that role until Willis and I moved to New York in 1999. In New York is where I was introduced to and fell in love with the independent school world. I spent 2 idyllic years at Children's Country Day. Year 1, I had a wonderful principal and mentor who unfortunately moved on at the end of that year, and her replacement lasted only a few months. I had built some strong connections with my students' families and had earned the respect of the board. They asked me to step into the head of school role and offered me the position long-term. But still a new teacher, I felt really honored with that, and it was tempting, but in the end I knew I wanted more time in the classroom and was not ready to step out of the teacher role. Willis and I loved our time in New York, but we were ready to move back to the West and be closer to our families. When we moved to Vancouver, Washington in 2001, I found my next home at the Gardner School, a pre-K through 8 independent school nestled in a picturesque country setting. This is where I honed my ability to create and implement integrated thematic studies. I got to teach a variety of age groups and assumed many administrative duties in addition to teaching. Willis joined the staff there a few years later, and our two children, Carver and Gracie, literally grew up in that environment. It became our community and our family. It's where we met our forever friends, Jesse and Sia, who are in the audience tonight. In my time at Gardner, I learned that the strength of our community lies not only in the relationships we forge within the school walls, but also in the bonds we create with parents, caregivers, and the broader community. Together, we form a network of support, guidance, and collaboration that enriches the educational experience for every child. When we come together as a team, united in our commitment to the well-being and growth of our children, we unlock the full potential of community-driven education. This belief became the foundation that allowed me, along with the help of a group of teachers and parents, to create Lupin Experiential School, a K-8 independent school that embodies everything I believe to be paramount in education. Rich, deep, integrated thematic studies, meaningful experiences inside and outside of the traditional classroom walls, project learning that incorporates student agency, service learning embedded throughout the year, outdoor school all year long, and routines and celebrations that build and foster community. It is the hardest thing I have ever done. It is more work than I ever imagined. There are frustrations and problems, there is no doubt. But there are also a million wonderful things. Colleagues that have become family, the knowledge that we put students first in all of our decision-making, and knowing that we have the opportunity to make a difference in each of our students' lives. These were the ideals instilled in me here at Western, and I feel extremely fortunate to have been able to embody them in my practice. Thank you for this honor and opportunity. The Dillon and Western community is and will always be forever in my heart. Thank you.
Congratulations. Tonight we have the honor of presenting a Legacy Award. Percy Craddock, a cherished and longtime resident of Butte, left behind a legacy of dedication, service, and a profound impact on the community he held dear. Born and raised in Williamsburg, Percy's formative years were deeply influenced by the time spent at his grandfather's ranch in Ramsey. It was there that he developed a lasting appreciation for hard work, a value that would shape his character and guide him throughout his life. Percy graduated from Butte High School in 1954, the beginning of a journey marked by service to his country and a commitment to education. In January of 1963, Percy married Lois, and together they embarked on a series of adventures that took him to the California coast, where Percy served in the Army during the Vietnam War, settling in Seaside, California. The couple eventually returned to Butte to start a family. After his military service, Percy pursued higher education at Western Montana College, majoring in industrial arts and education. He later went on to get a master's degree from WMC. From 1972 to 1998, he dedicated the majority of his teaching career to Butte High, where he taught carpentry and later became an instructor for adult education classes. Percy's professional journey was marked by a profound commitment to education. From his early days at Safeway managing the produce department, teaching woodshop at Butte High, and pioneering the School to Work program, he left an indelible mark on the institutions he served. Post-retirement, Percy continued his dedication to education by playing a pivotal role in launching the carpentry program at RYO Correctional Facility. He served as the Vocational Industrial Clubs of America advisor, coaching students to national competitions. As a founding member of the Montana Woodcarvers Association, Percy shared his passion by teaching woodcarving at the Belmont Senior Center, amassing an impressive 50 years of teaching woodcarving by the age of 84. Beyond his professional achievements, Percy found joy in various hobbies, including card games, horseshoes, cross-country skiing, and snowmobiling. Drawing from his own experiences as a high school hockey player, he generously coached basketball and hockey, leaving a lasting impact on the lives of young athletes he mentored. Percy's influence extended far beyond his professional and recreational pursuits. He touched countless lives. His legacy of dedication, service, and passion for education will be remembered with fondness and gratitude by all who had the privilege of knowing him.
My name is Lynn Morris. I am Percy Craddock's daughter.
I'm Loran McConaughey, Percy's oldest daughter.
I'm Mark Craddock, and Percy Craddock was my dad.
Some of my earliest memories are of my dad attending school in Dillon. He would commute over an hour each way, still work a full shift at Safeway and raise a family. These last few years, we spent a lot of time going to Dillon, and he really wanted to revisit some of those memories of the drive to Dillon and talk about his commuting with his friends. And I also attended Butte High School while he was a teacher there, and I had multiple friends who had him as a teacher, and I still to this day hear that he is still their favorite teacher. He would shop at the high school. He also taught driver's ed throughout the years, kind of off and on. Taught adult education, I believe, for 50 years. Taught with Curving at the Belmont Senior Center. His love of teaching was very apparent throughout his entire adult life, and he never turned down a chance to teach.
In my eyes, my dad was always a champion for the underdog. I always felt Dad had an open door policy and was more than happy to help any of his students, but where he really shined was with his compassion to help the students that were really struggling. Whether they were just having trouble understanding the math needed to complete a carpentry project or they simply just didn't test well, he would always help them come up with a solution so that they could be successful. Their success really mattered to him. Student success was what was very much a priority for my dad. I still run into his students from time to time that attribute their success in life to my dad.
Hi, I'm Reed Dean, live here in Butte. I also graduated from Western Montana College in 1885 and had Percy for a carving instructor for several years, and he taught me a lot, and he had a lot of good sayings. And one thing I did learn from him is that you gotta know when on carving when it's time to stop, or it's going to turn into something you don't want it to be. Like you can turn a bird into a frog really easy. Anyway, I thank Percy for all the good times and good instruction you gave me.
Hi, my name's Lowell Carlson. I'm one of the newer carvers here in the class. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. And first got me started before he ended up getting to the point where he couldn't come up here anymore. And my son had him in high school 32 years ago, and he was one of his favorite instructors. I learned a lot in just a short time that I had an opportunity to work with Percy, and then the rest of the carvers here, I learned a lot from them too. So I really appreciate what Percy was able to do as far as getting me started. I really enjoyed carving and the experience with the rest of the carvers here.
My dad's success as an educator was always very important to him, and he continued to learn new things and ideas throughout his lifetime. He also was up for most any challenge, with one of the biggest challenges coming in the form of being asked to set up the carpentry woodworking program at RIO, which stood for Reintegrating Youthful Offenders in Galen, Montana. He basically came out of his retirement to do this. Along with setting up the program and teaching students how to complete small carpentry projects, he also taught them wood carving and taking pride in their work. Dad was very proud of his students, as most, if not all, had a rough start in life and went down very rough paths. Many times he received a very emotional thank you from their families. Dad also had a scrapbook with all the photos of all their hard work.
I think the things I remember most about my dad in his teaching career was how proud he was of his students and their accomplishments. I still talk to a lot of them today that remind me of the things he did for them. They wouldn't be where they were today without my dad. We used to take trips for Big Cat when we were all young to the state competitions, and we went on 2 trips for a national competition, him and his students, that he was really proud of and that I still have contact with today. He was really work-oriented and family-oriented. His biggest accomplishments were the accomplishments through his students and what they accomplished throughout their careers. Until the time of his death, he had contact with several of the students that he was really proud of and always stood by them. They'd come back with questions at the house at night, and he was always there for them.
I'm very proud of my dad. This is quite an honor.
To say I'm proud of him is an understatement. He was an outstanding teacher and even a greater father. And I'm proud to call him my dad.
Tonight we're excited to welcome Percy's children, Lynn Morris, Lori McConaughey, and Mark Craddock to the stage.
On behalf of myself, my sisters, and our families, we would like to thank Jolene Robbins and all involved in the University of Montana for putting together such a wonderful evening. Well, we are beyond proud of our dad's legacy as an educator. We wish to thank Western for honoring him tonight. Our dad was proud of his education, but mostly he was proud to have received his degree from Western. Dad did not take the traditional route to obtain his education. After high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Army, and he and our mom headed to Fort Ord, California. After serving, they returned home to Butte, and Dad started working for Safeway. He drove to Dillon daily for class and worked at Safeway while he and our mom decided to start their family. We recently found newspaper articles about Dad and 3 other young men who carpooled to Dillon daily, beginning September of 1966 and continuing through August of 1969. After all the calculating was done, these men traveled 81,070 miles. This led to the Montana Standard writing that some people will do anything for an education, even if it means driving over 80,000 miles in the process. That sums up how much our dad wanted this education. Plus, this was just for his bachelor's degree. He later went back to Western to obtain his master's degree, so he racked up even more miles back and forth to Dillon. By then, the interstate had taken place of the old road, making some of those miles a little bit easier. Our dad loved teaching and seeing his students become successful young individuals. Many of his students became lifelong friends. He enjoyed his career at Butte High School and cherished his friendships made during those years. He remained lifelong friends with his carpool buddies as well. He liked to joke around and pull pranks. One of his best being recruiting 2 of his buddies from the high school at the teachers' conventions, wearing their name tags to read Ben Dover, Gymnasium, and Petroleum. The last year of our dad's life, one of his favorite things to do became driving to Dillon and visiting the campus. This is a testament of how much Western really meant to him. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for the award and everything you've done tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Craddock family. Thank you for traveling to be here with us tonight. So it sounds like you all know the way to Dillon. What a privilege to have heard these stories tonight. I hope that many of you, like me, had little touch points through those. I had Donna and Bonnie as my faculty members. I worked for Clarence and Ole. I had the Wednesday evening shift of tutoring, and if you went to school here in the 90s, you know nobody was studying on Wednesday evening. So I spent a lot of quiet hours here in the ghosts of Main Hall. Seeing that picture of the Industrial Arts Lab and many of those men who made such a difference here. And I appreciate you sharing those things. I hope those of you who are here now are also starting to make those connections. I think of my own students who drive from Butte, and they're willing to do that even in the bad weather because they value this experience. So I hope that you will also join us in returning in the future to visit our campus and to be part of future ceremonies. Now looking ahead a little bit to the future, it's time to unveil the Education Hall of Fame class of 2025. Eileen Haugen, Sarah Decker, Dan Root, Ken Carver, and Jimmy Champ will be inducted next spring. But it's up to you to help us select the future classes. And you will be able to visit the UMW Foundation website for information about nominations. And just like our inductees tonight, family, friends, colleagues, children, students have the opportunity to contribute names so that we can learn more about their stories and hopefully bring them into this family as well. So please be thinking about that as you go back to your homes, to your work. Think about those other educators that we need to celebrate at this very special event. We hope that you will be joining us for the reception immediately after. It's in the Lewis and Clark room of Matthews Hall. Most of you have been there before, as it was the girls' dormitory. I imagine a few other guys found it, which is one of my favorite stories. You have to ask Donna Rouse about climbing out and in the windows there so that Miss Matthews would not catch her out and about. But tonight, instead, we'll enjoy some delicious food, drink, and renew old acquaintances and celebrate our teacher candidates. To find your way to the Lewis and Clark room, follow the crowd, or our helpful Education Club volunteers. And lastly, award recipients, please, before you head to the party, stay here, come up to the stage so that we can get some photos. Families, you're welcome to come and capture those photos as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's my pleasure to be a part of this ceremony, and I look forward to turning it back over to Mike next year. May these stories encourage you in your work in the coming year, and we hope that you'll come back again soon to join us. Thank you all.